civil engineering department, but I understand this course is a basic course within the obras civiles, or I don't know, the civil world. So I hope it's going to be a course that's going to start your interest and enthusiasm into hydraulics. Hopefully, it will be interesting for you. Hopefully, you'll learn, and hopefully, all of you will pass too. That's what we want, right? So, like I said before, feel free to ask any question you have. I am aware that not everyone can be confident speaking English. So, that shouldn't be a problem. Just reach out if you have any inconvenience. All the material is going to be in English. All the material to read, all the tests, all the assignments, everything's going to be in English. The classes, most of them are going to be in English. We have some previous videos of classes of last semester. They are also in English. And the recitations, ayudantías, they're most likely going to be in English too, but we can be a little more flexible there and speak a bit in Spanish. Among you, there should be an exchange student. I don't recall the name. Yeah, what I mean is that if we're talking about an issue, and for whatever reason, by speaking in English, it's just too complex to convey an idea, we can just take a break, a 1-2 minute break, and just break it down in Spanish, in case, so we're all on the same page. So like I was saying, there is an exchange student in the course. It's a student from China, so that's one of the reasons for keep the course in English. So we might, speak briefly in Spanish just to make an idea clearer, but it's important for all of us to try and switch back to English as soon as possible. Okay, with that was an introduction. I understand this might be the first course in English for many of you. So just take this as an opportunity. It's really important that you guys, as good professionals that you're going to be, that you're confident speaking English. And not only, watching movies, but on a professional set. So take this as an opportunity, and I'm going to try to help you as much as I can. So the class of today is going to be a really high-level introduction of what the course is going to be. So we're all on the same page on what's expected from you guys. So we're not going to go into much details. I just want to show you what fluid mechanics is generally, what are the topics that we're going to cover, how are we going to evaluate the course, and more or less the time frame and the dates that you should keep in mind. So my name is Benjamin Carrion. This is the first time I'm doing this course. I'm actually not a professor in the meaning that I am not an academic. I'm a civil engineer. I'm going to talk a bit about that later, but I work in a consultant office. So when I studied, I used to give fluid mechanics as an assistant. So it's something that I'm very familiar with. But this is the first time that I'm doing a course. So that might be lucky or unlucky for you. We'll know by the end of the semester. But I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very excited to see what you guys can do. Okay, let me just skip this. Has anyone seen this image before? This online course it doesn't allow much of an interaction, but I'm going to assume that some of you or most of you have seen this image before, and this is a painting. Actually, it's a Japanese painting of it's called the Great Wave of don't recall, Kawanawa. I don't recall exactly. There's a famous painting, Japanese painting, that depicts a tsunami wave. You probably heard, well, you probably know about the tsunami happened a few years. Kanagawa, says Tomas Vidal, um, about the tsunami that happened in Chile some 10 years ago. And there have been some other historical tsunamis. In the Japanese culture, tsunamis are a recurrent threat. And this picture here shows how the ocean gets, let's say, mixed up, how you get waves because of the tsunami. This is not really accurate physically, but it gives you an idea of the power of the sea, of the power of the motion of water. And we're going to get into the details on how the water moves, and hopefully you'll get a better understanding of these processes. This is another picture, which I love. I really like. Anyone have any wild guess what this could be? It's an aerial picture. You know, it's something that you could see from Google Earth. But basically, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, can you see the pointer on the picture? What this is showing is a shallow, is a is a it's a zone in the ocean where the water depth is really low and sometimes even dry. And what you can see here are these deeper channels here, which are tidal channels. There are sections. Yeah, this is an image of the sea, and these are sections, deeper sections, where the tide comes in and out. This is most likely a shallow area, some keys, and you can have tidal water coming in and out. In which direction? That's an excellent question. Maybe you can learn later on, but these are tidal flats. So the tide returns to the ocean in this direction and comes in from the ocean in this direction, forming these gullies. Actually, there's two channels here, one deeper in the middle where the flood tide comes in, and two smaller here at the sides where the ebbing tide goes out. The details are not very important, but what I'm trying to convey here is that the flow of the water also shapes the shape of the sand and of the coast, and there is an interaction between how the water moves, how the bottom of the sea, and the shape of the bottom of the sea, and it's actually a dynamic connection. So this is really interesting, and these are really complex phenomena that can be simplified, and you should be able by the end of the course to understand the basics of some of these processes. Anyone has any idea what this is? Wild guesses? This is not an actual true color picture, but you can see. Oh, sorry, it's not gases, but you can see here. This is also an aerial view. These are fields, right? So you can see these are crops with different. I don't know exactly what. Doesn't matter. This is a river. This is a meandering river. You can see it has, this curve, change shape. But what's interesting here is that it's not only one river, but you can see the shape of the river, like historical shape, this one, and this other one, where actually you have fields on now, and this other one. So this is a Mississippi River. I don't know exactly in which part, but the Mississippi is a really low-lying river. It has a slow slope, a mild slope. And what happens is that the water flows, and every now and then it meanders. And when you have a flood, high flow, it cuts through this shortcut. Um, so it changes the shape. It changes the shape of the channel of the river. Is everyone with their mic off? I hear a little ticking. So please have a look. There it went. Thank you very much. Okay. So again, in the previous one is the you can see the relationship between water and sand moving, which is also interesting. Any idea what this is? Can you see? Can you see this white shape? Well, this is a coastline. You can see that. It's not a landslide. It doesn't. It. I don't know. Maybe it was a river. You can see a river here. Actually, this is really cool too. These are clouds. The white ones are clouds that are going down a valley and then reaching the sea in a kind of a jet. So probably I don't know where this is from, but probably these are some hills that push the clouds downhill and expel them into the sea. And actually, here you can see a river. So probably this is a valley, and probably a river comes here. Yeah, actually, you can see a bit here. So the clouds follow the valley. If anyone has been in the Elqui Valley, it happens something similar. Only the valley has moist due to the clouds coming down. This is just to point out that clouds are also fluids. Normally, when we talk about fluid dynamics, we think about water, but cloud and gases are also fluids. And there are other things that can be fluids, like toothpaste or painting. All of those behave like fluids, but fluids different from water. We're also going to see at the properties of fluids and see how different properties of fluids change the properties of the flow, because the fluid is not the same as the flow. The flow is a fluid moving. We'll get into that later on. This is a beautiful picture too, also from a satellite. Oh, anyone? Sorry, I'm messing this up. Okay, anyone has a clue what this is? A tornado? It's larger than a tornado. It's a hurricane. It's actually a hurricane. It's the eye of the storm of a hurricane. I don't know. I don't recall exactly which one it is. I think I think it was Irene, but I'm not sure. So it's really cool because normally you can look up on the internet images of hurricanes, so you can see them from above, from satellites. And normally you see this circular shape. But it's really cool to see all this turbulent flow going in the inside of the hurricane. So probably this is a low pressure field or zone, and since it has lower pressure, the wind rushes in, and since the Earth is moving, these rushing in winds or masses of air, they start rotating because of Coriolis. You probably heard something like that before. So it's not just that the air comes in, but it starts rotating. And also the flow of each of these of his wind shapes, they also have turbulence. So it's a very energetic process. Also, you'll get to know a bit about this. And I think this is the last one. What we're seeing here, I'm going to tell you up front, what we're seeing here are clouds. But maybe you can see a pattern in the clouds. Here you can see, here you can see, and here you can see the smaller pattern. It's the same pattern, but just smaller. Any idea what these are? Any wild guess? It's not Jupiter. This is on the Earth. These are earthling clouds. Wind vortex. Yes, these are wind vortex. These are called von Karman vortexes, which happens due to turbulence, which happens when the flow separates. And actually, you can see here, maybe if you look close enough, here there are a couple of islands, and these islands protrude over the clouds and actually block the flow of the clouds. So the clouds have to separate, and then when they reach again, they start this oscillating pattern, which is really has a lot of rhythm, as you can see here. Actually, you can calculate uh, the natural period of these oscillations, and these are critical, for instance, for infrastructure. Any pole, any slender structure is going to have a natural frequency of oscillation due to this wind, due to this to the wake of the wind. And if that oscillation matches the natural oscillation of the structure, then you can be in trouble. I'm not a structural guy, but these are really important for fatigue analysis and stuff like that. Okay, so that was as a way of an introduction. All of the pictures that you saw are flows and involve some way of fluid mechanics in order to describe them and in order to understand them. By the end of the course, you should be able to better understand this kind of flows. So let's get into the administrative part real quick. It's really important that if anyone has any doubt, just raise your hand or write in the chat so that we're all on the same page on how this course is going to go. So this is fluid dynamics. There you have the code. I'm just going to trust that's okay because, like I said, I'm not from the university. This course is going to give you 6 credits, which means you should work 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week is a full day of work, eating a very, very small lunch, or 2-3 hours every day, assuming you're not going to be working on the weekends. So you're going to have to work, you're going to have to put on time. It is important for you to fully understand. You should know differential equations and statics. That's the prerequisite for the course. And also that means that you should know calculus. If you know differential equations, I'm assuming that you have to know calculus beforehand. So you need to know how to derivate, how to integrate, and you need to know basic physics. You need to know Newtonian physics. With that in hand, we can get into fluid dynamics. If you feel weak in any of these issues, maybe try to read a bit about it. Maybe you might encounter a bit of a problem. You are expected to, like I said, to integrate, to derivate simple stuff. I mean, this is not a mathematics course. I don't need you to do very complex derivation, but you should be able to do simple ones and to integrate an equation. You should be able to do that. We're gonna have classes every Monday at this time between 4:30 and 7:20. That's a 3-hour period. Most likely, we won't use the full 3 hour because it can be exhausting listening 3 hours the same topic and listening someone speaking in English might be too much for some. So well, and it's going to be online, of course, since you all know all this course is going to be online. We'll get to that later. And the recitation, the ayudantías, are going to be Thursday between 4:30 and 6:20. We won't have a recitation this Thursday because probably there's not going to be enough material to start. So in principle, the first one should be next week, and well, that will depend on the amount of material we cover between today and next Monday. Um, but in any case, you'll get a notification if uh, there's going to be a recitation or not. About the class, what I was saying is you guys are going to have 3 hours of classes every week. But we're also going to work on the classes of last semester. As you all well know, um, this year has been quite different because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the last semester was already more or less fully online, even though at the beginning it wasn't planned like that. So because of that, we have recorded every class of last semester. So the idea is that you should be able to watch the videos of last semester. I'm going to be uploading them as in the order that needs to be seen. And the idea is that every Monday we get together, and it's going to be I'm gonna do the class anyway, but it's going to be a bit faster because you're going to have these previous videos to support. And the idea is that we use the class to solve doubts, questions, and to do exercises. So I'm going to go over the subjects, assuming that you have seen the videos and assuming that you have read the chapters of the book. I'm going to get to the book in a minute, but that's more or less how it's going to work. So I should know by the end of the course, you should understand basic concept of fluids and their behavior. You should understand fluid models. You should be able to represent them in an integral or a differential way. We'll see those later. And you should be able to face problems that had to do with fluids, and to make simple models, understand the limitation of your assumptions, and to make computations. For instance, you should be able to say to compute forces over bodies. I don't know, if you have a pool in your house, you should be able to say, okay, what's the strain that the concrete is supporting? What's the weight of the water? If the water is moving, what's the force that water is going to exert into say a person in the water, etc. You should be able to apply simplify models and to make computations. You are all engineers, so that's what we do. We compute stuff in order to design stuff. And once you finish this course, you should be able to compute and design stuff that has to do with water. This course is also the basis for subsequent hydraulic courses like hydrology, if you're into meteorology and rivers and precipitation, and hydraulics, let's say open channel hydraulics or tube flows, drainage, and some other more specialized courses. I think there's a course in turbulence, and probably a couple of others that I'm not aware of. So this course is the basis. If you're into water or into hydraulics, this course is the basis. And if this course is interesting, then maybe all the other courses that I just mentioned could be interesting for you. Okay, so these are the units that we should be covering this semester. First, an introduction, then fluid statics, which is similar to let's say not fluid, but rigid bodies statics. Then fluid kinematics, how the water moves and flows. And then I think what the core of the course is going to be is differential analysis of flow and finite volume control analysis of flow. And these are the two ways in which you can analyze the water, either by a control volume analysis or via derivative analysis of points. We'll get to them, but these are really the core of the course. And then unit 6 is going to be dimensional analysis, similar to the modeling. This is really one of the core things that you can learn in in fluid dynamics. It has to do a lot with physical modeling and scales. It's really interesting stuff, and it's really basic, and it's the oldest probably in uh, I mean, it's some of the first thing that was developed in order to understand water. So it's a really core knowledge. And if we have time, since we have the previous classes, we might be able to go a bit faster. And if we have time and we can cover it properly, we will get to see a bit of flow over immersed bodies. And this has to do with, it's a simplified approach to turbulence and the effect it has over bodies. So, but we'll see down the line. I mean, if we see that we're moving faster and that we are confident on how we're working, we might be able to squeeze that in. Otherwise, it's going to remain optional. All right, the evaluation. We're going to have several items to evaluate. Basically, we're going to have 3 midterms, 3 tests, and there you can see the dates, which cover broadly Unit 1, 2 for the first, Unit 3, 4 for the second, and 5, 6 for the third. If we are able to include Unit 7, we will spread it. We will, overlap it a bit. So Unit 7 might come in the third midterm. So we're going to have 3 midterms, and they're going to have an increasing weight because of what I just said. I mean, the core of the course is going to be this differential and integral analysis. So on September 11, we're going to have the first one, which is going to cost at 25% of the presenting mark to the exam. Then on October 22, we're going to have the second one. It's going to weight at 30%. Then in November 23, we're going to have the third one, and it's going to cost at 35%. So this make up to 90% of the presenting mark. And then we're going to have 2 kind of homeworks. One is going to be reading assignments. By every class, I'm going to tell you which sections of the book you should be reading. There is one book that I don't have right here. Give me just a moment. We have one book, which is a brief introduction to fluid mechanics. I didn't put it in the presentation, but I'm going to upload it. It's in the syllabus. You can see it in the website, and I'm going to put it in the presentation later on. So you can read the book in Canvas. There is a bibliography tab, so you should be able to read it there. And also, we're going to be uploading chapters of the book. So we're going to say, okay, for next Monday, you need to read between page so and so. And before the class, we're going to put in a reading quiz. So we're going to say, okay, you should read this, 15 pages, and we're going to give you a little quiz, which should be really easy. Like if you read the stuff, it should be like yes or no question. It should be really easy. The idea is that this should be done often. Yeah. I can't guarantee them that I'm going to do it every weekend or every week, but I should try to do it as often as I can. Ideally, every class. But like I said, should be really simple, really short stuff, in order for you to read the book. And this is going to weigh 5% of your presenting mark. And also, there are going to be homeworks. These homeworks, they're going to be a little more elaborate than the reading quizzes. And they should involve some kind of calculation. Ideally, it's going to be computational calculations. I mean, I understand that in your formation, all of you or most of you should be very comfortable coding in Python and using Jupyter notebooks. Uh, if that's not the case, you should let me know quickly. But I understand that for most people should be easy to read code in Python and to manipulate a Jupyter notebook. So what I intend to do is I'm going to try to give you some 2 or 3 homeworks. Again, this is not a coding course, so I don't expect you to be very good coders or software developers, but you should be able to do simple computations using Python. And those are going to be those homeworks. So again, I don't know exactly how many are going to be, at least one. And it should be a little bit more longer than the reading assignment. So very likely, if 1 week I give you homework, I'm going to give you a couple more days than the reading assignment. The reassignment, I probably am going to tell you on Friday a couple of questions for next Monday. The homework might be from 1 week to another, something like that. And each of these homeworks, I mean, the reading assignment and the homework assignment, they weight 5% for your presenting mark. So if you add this up, this is your 100% of your presenting mark. And if you follow this pixelated equation here, this is the mark with which you come to the exam. Okay, the exam is going to be the November 30, and I think it's one of the last day of the semester. And the exam is going to weight 30% of the course. So in order for the exam to make sense for you to take it, you should have a mark below 5. If you do all your midterms and your reading assignment and your homework, and you get below 5, 4.95 technically, then you should go and sit in the exam. And then your overall grade is going to be 30% of your exam and 70% of all the others. If you come with over a 5, then you don't have to take the exam unless you want to. With more than a 5, you can't fail. So if you want to come and give the exam and, I don't know, improve your grade, well, it's up to you. We'll be happy to have you. But those are the rules. A little tip: the reading assignment should be really easy, so you should try to do them all. Okay, and to and try to do good. And also the homework should be. I'm gonna try to do them interesting and fun and not very demanding. I mean, again, I'm not interested in software development. I'm interested on hydraulics. And one tool that you're gonna have to use if you want to be a hydraulic engineer is code. You're gonna have to code. So this should be, these 2 items is a 10% of the grade that you should easily get a nice grade. And then the midterms, well, the idea is that everyone does good. The idea is that everyone learns. So this part is going to be the challenging part. And then the exam is going to go. Yes, the homework is going to be in Python. There's 2 homeworks. Sorry. We're gonna have to go into specifics cases later on. But there's 2 homeworks. One is going to be about reading, just to check that you guys are reading, and another kind of homework is going to be reading in Python. Yes, in Jupyter notebooks. All of those are going to be evaluated through Canvas. Okay. For the reading assignment, I think you can put in Canvas like true or false questions, yes or no questions, multiple option, stuff like that. For the coding assignment, I'm not sure yet. Probably we can use Colab or some plugin in Canvas that I'm not aware yet. But the idea would be roughly to give you a code that does some computation and tell you, okay, this function or this piece of code, where are the missing lines? How do you compute the pressure at a certain depth, for instance? Fill in the the line that is missing, something like that. So again, I don't need you to show me that you have uh, uh, database modeling knowledge. I don't mind about that, but that you are able to move around code to do computations. Okay, I'm reading that we have. Okay, I'm reading two problems that there is a base de datos exam in the same day. Uh, and I'm reading that you don't know how to use Jupyter notebooks. Uh, about the dates, I was informed about the dates, but I can have a look at this and see if maybe we can shift it around on the November uh, 23rd. So let me check that. And about the code, don't worry about if it's just plain Python or Jupyter Notebook. It is not relevant. The only important part is that you can write code in Python. If you can do that, you're going to be able to do the homework. Yes. Any more questions about evaluations, midterms, assignments? Yes. Everything is going to be individual. Uh, why? Because, well, we're all in a global pandemic. We're all more or less stuck at home. I'm at home at least. I haven't gone out, only for really basic stuff. And chances are that's going to remain the same for at least a month or so. So, um, yeah, I understand that there might be, the, I mean, homework should be easy enough for everyone to do their own homework. So there's no need for collaboration. And also we want everyone to work. I mean, the current scenario is of everyone at home, so I guess it's better if we set up things so that everyone can work alone. In that way, we limit the amount of work that can be shared, for not saying copied. So yeah, the idea is that it should be easy enough for one people to do it. If anyone has any problem and I don't know, can't connect or any problem at all, reach out to me. If there are particular cases, we can work them out. But in principle, everything is going to be individual. Any more questions? Okay, moving on. Yes. I have the following question. The evaluation have to be answered in English. Yes, but again, this is not an English course. I don't mind if you use the past tense, or I don't mind. I do mind that all of you are able to read and understand and communicate well in English. It's important for your professional careers, and it's important that you can do it in a professional environment, in taking a course. So already having to listen to classes in English and reading in English for me is enough. I don't need you to also be able to write excellently in English. Okay. So the test, most of the tests, I mean, all of the tests are going to be online, and just a few of them you're going to have to write down text. Normally it's going to be a derivation, and that's math. So you can just, math doesn't have any language. So don't worry about that. Again, the code is going to be write a couple. It's a bit off. It's not that one. It's not me. Yeah, it's wrong. I'm sorry. So uh, just to finish the final what I was saying, I don't need you to be able to write excellently in English. So the amount of things that you're gonna have to write is limited. I understand the last semester, one of the requisites for the labs was that your reports were in perfect English. But given that now we're in this pandemic said, and that I think we're already asking you a lot for listening to this and reading in English. So don't worry too much. All the tests are going to have minimal writing sections, although everything is going to be in English. Okay. Yes, you're right. My email is wrong. It should be mi u Andes, and it has an extra n. I'm gonna fix it in the PowerPoint that I upload. But that's my email. I mean, you can contact me for whatever reason. You have a test the same day, or you're not so confident, you're not understanding very well, whatever, or this is getting boring, or we need better homework, whatever. So just reach out to me. I do encourage you to use the discussion forum, though, because if you make a really interesting question, I would like that everyone has the answer, right? So ideally, if you have any question regarding the subjects, please first write them in the discussion forum. I'm also new to Canvas, so I don't know exactly all the details yet. So I think the discussion forum is working. So if anyone can pop in a test question, I would very much be thankful. But please try to put questions about the subject in the forum, so I can answer there, and you can have a discussion. If for whatever reason you prefer to write me an email, you're welcome to do it too. But I reserve the right to just post it later on the discussion forum. Yes, thank you. The Python homework, it's individual. All of the course is going to be individual, right? If you want to get together with friends and study, that's up to you. But given the pandemic scenario, I think it makes more sense that everyone is working at their own. So all of the work is going to be individual. And again, if you struggle with that, reach out to me, and we see if we can do something. So I started from the bottom up, but no, you can if you send me an email, you can write it in Spanish. No worries. All the tests, the homework, and all the, let's say, official material has to be in English. But if you send me an email, it doesn't matter if it's in English or in Spanish. No worries. Okay, what I was gonna say, this is gonna be an online semester, so probably you're familiar with this already. But you're gonna have all the reading material in Canvas. Like I said, you can look at the syllabus. There's a book. You can read it online in the library website, or you can read the PDFs that they are already online, I think, for all the sections. So you can read all the material there. That's the course, right? That book is the course. So if you don't have time or you don't want, you can just read the book and then come to the how to read the book. If you go to the Canvas site, there should be in modules. There should be several modules. Unit 1, Unit 2, etc. And then you should be able to see the PDF with the book chapters that you're supposed to read. And the book in Canvas also, there is this I might be wrong, but there is a Bibliografía tab that leads you to your university library. But I don't have the credentials to get in, so I don't know if I guess you can read it. Maybe I can show you what I'm talking about. Is that clear for everyone, or let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I'm sharing the canvas of the fluid mechanics. If you are here in Bibliografía, you should see the book, and it says here view online. But if you click that, it takes you to your library website, which I don't have access to. So I'm guessing you guys and girls should be able to get in. Otherwise, here in modules, you can see all the units, and we have, like I said, the classes and recitation from last semester. But for now, you should be able to read uh, the sections of the book like PDFs. So everything should be there. Well, it's loading, but just believe me, it's there. If anyone has problem reading the books or the pages, just let me know. It is blocked? Okay. Is blocked for everyone? Okay, I'm gonna have a look and okay, we're all set. So let me return to the presentation. Wait. Let me return to the presentation. Okay, so all the reading material should be up or will be up. Let me just check. If you can reach it, just let me know. We have the recorded classes from previous semester. So I'm gonna try to curate them and see if there are some better classes or classes that can be improved. And we also get together every Monday to cover whatever I tell you we need to cover that week. The idea is that there we can get together, answer questions, and do some exercises. Everything's going to be uploaded, so you can watch it later on as a video in YouTube. Like I said, in these meetings, you can turn on the captions, so you should be able to see the captions. And later on, when you watch the videos on YouTube, you can also turn on the captions on YouTube. So it should be easier if I'm going to try to speak slowly so the captions work well. So you should be able to read what I'm saying, to help you go through the English. Like I said, everything is going to be online: the quizzes, the homework, the midterm, and the exam. Everything, unless we have any problem. If you read the syllabus, it says something like, if you don't show up and you don't have a valid excuse, you have to take an oral exam or test to replace the one that you're missing. So unless this kind of particular cases, everything should be online, and Canvas works relatively well. So should be smooth for everyone. If not, again, let me know. And just to repeat again, please use the discussion forum. I don't know if you can't see the material, you can send me an email, but maybe it's better if you use the forum, so more people is aware of the subject and of the answer. And again, if you send me a very interesting question, and I think it's really important that everyone knows the answer, I am going to post it into the forum or into in Canvas in somewhere, ideally in the discussion forum. Okay, I think that's the administrative part. And again, also when we do the midterms and the exam, we're gonna go through the questions. We might read them out loud if necessary, and we might give a couple of minutes to solve questions, which again should be public to everyone, because the idea is that, I don't know, maybe there is a typo, or maybe there is a question that's just too difficult and it's not well understood. Then, and if somebody raises our attention to that, it's important that we can show the correct question to everyone. Probably you've seen this already the last semester in other courses, so it should be pretty standard. Okay, that's about administrative stuff. Is there any other questions? Something that you're missing? Something that I don't know, it wasn't very clear? If not, let me just I'm gonna give you just a brief idea of of my career as a hydraulic engineer, in order to motivate the ones of you that might want to chase this track. Uh, I'm I'm actually yeah, sorry, before that, uh, the tests are going to be online, all right, and they're going to have several questions, probably a couple of sections of questions, like sections of true or false or multiple selection, and for sure it's going to have one section of development, where in which you're going to have to, I don't know, do some computations or show a bit how to derivate or how to compute something. So for those, you're going to have to, you're going to be able to use, a regular uh, paper sheet, and do your math, and do your integrals or whatever you need to do, and then you, within a time frame, let's say half an hour, so you're gonna have to upload it to Canvas. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna try to use most of the tools that Canvas has for online testing, but for sure you're gonna have to do at least one classic development over a cheat, a paper cheat. Okay. Any other questions before we go on? Yeah. I have a question if we can use Wolfram Alpha or similar. It won't be necessary. Like I said, I don't need you to show me that you know a lot of calculus, but you need to be able to derivate simple stuff and to integrate simple stuff. So the core is not going to be in the integration of the part of the question, but rather that you're able to say, okay, here I should integrate this, and the integral should be simple. Um, Simple enough. I mean, you're engineers. I mean, yeah, you get the idea, right? So this is not a calculus class. This is not a coding class. This is not an English class. But you need to be good at all of those, right? Uh, a break now. How does this work normally? Is 1 hour class and then a break? Because 15 minutes and we're already past, right? Okay. Tell you what, let's take a 10-minute break, and then we'll finish. Probably it's gonna be 20 more minutes or so. So yeah, let's take 10 minutes. I have 5:30. So in 10 minutes we'll resume. All right. Great. See you later. Okay, hopefully everyone's back. Okay, so normally it's going to be 50 minutes and then a 10 minutes break. All right, and since we have the 3 hour, we, just to repeat again, we might not use the full 3 hour every time, but unless it's really necessary, unless we have a lot of ground to cover. So today, for instance, we're going to be ending in 30 more, 40 more minutes probably. So yeah, just before I wrap the admin part, yeah, a bit of an advice. I mean, all of you are students of a very good university. And we are in a kind of a special scenario due to this COVID-19 crisis. So of all of you is expected you're expected to behave as adults, and I'm going to treat you as adults. So like I said, I'm not going to take assistance to the classes. If you don't want to come, it's up to you. You really are going to have all the material you want and need. All the classes are going to be uploaded later on, and you're going to have all the previous classes. All the reading material is available, so you really could go at your own pace, on your own time, and it's really up to you. I do have, however, recommend to come to class, right? This is the place where we can solve most of the problems. Even if you send me an email and I'm going to try, I mean, I'm going to respond every email that gets there. But really a nice conversation is here every Monday, and with the recitations every Thursday. So do yourself a favor. That's the way in which you're going to learn. Of course, you can pass this course and every other course without really learning much. That's always a possibility. But I really encourage you to try and understand. This is really, for me at least, is a really nice subject. And if you get to understand it well enough, it could be something that you can make a career of later on. So, do yourself a favor and do come and do study and try to learn as much as you can. We're going to try to help you as much as we can to do that. Okay, so if there are no more questions regarding administrative stuff, let me show you. Let me show you just a bit of my career path, let's say. Okay, like I was saying, I studied engineering at the Pontificia Universidad Católica. I have a small timetable on the top, just to show you this. And after I studied, I'm actually an industrial engineer, and I have a diploma on hydraulics. So actually, I just took fluid mechanics there because I had to, and I had already made up my mind of being an industrial engineer. I really liked economics and analytics and businesses. But then I got a taste on the fluid mechanics stuff, and then I got more and more into hydraulics. So I ended up graduating as an industrial engineer, but I have a diploma on hydraulics, and actually all my career path has been on hydraulics later on. Just after graduating, I went to Bordeaux, which is a French university, and I started a PhD that I soon I dropped out of it very soon. And from then on, I've been working in a consulting company, which is called PRDW, and we do coastal engineering. That's hydraulics applied to the coast, to the waves, tides, tsunamis, and all the like. And then between 2013 and 15, I did a master's in coastal engineering in the Netherlands, in the Delft Technical University of Delft. And then I came back to working at my company. So within hydraulics, I specialize in the coastal processes. And everything started for me in a congress of the SOCHID, which is the Chilean Society of Hydraulic Engineer, Sociedad Chilena de Ingeniería Hidráulica, that some of you might know, some of you might have participated or might start participating in this kind of congresses. Actually, there was a congress this year, and it was canceled because of the pandemic. And in this congress, there was this man, Philip Liu. He is one of the leading academics in the coastal engineering world. And this man talked about the modeling of the Indian tsunami in Sumatra. And he showed some numerical models of the propagation of the tsunami. You probably are old enough to have seen this many times. And if you go online and look in Google and in YouTube, you're going to find several animations of the modeling of the tsunami, and you can find actual footage too. And for me, this was really something that changed my view, and I really started looking into the ocean and into the hydraulics of the, let's say, of the water, of the ocean water. So this was a pivotal moment for me, and I really wanted to learn more about the ocean and the waves and tsunamis and stuff. So I did my graduation thesis. It was also had to do with numerical models of waves, but in this case short waves. And I won't go into details, but basically you can have several physical processes, different physical processes when you have a wave. If anyone of you has been in the ocean, you've probably seen waves that they're pretty stable and then can get pretty steep, and then they start breaking. And the processes that govern those two motions are different. So what we did is that we coupled a couple of numerical models that model these processes in different schemes. So in the blue, you have all processes that keep waves stable, and in cyan, you have processes that break the waves. And what we did was we made these models to communicate. We made them talk to each other, and it worked reasonably well. This was in 2008, so a while back. This wasn't my idea, of course. I was just I was just graduating. But this approach of separating physical processes has proved very very useful in other areas. And as you might learn in the course, if you really want to solve hydrodynamics, you will end up using numerical models. It's the only way to really solve all the equations that you're gonna find. So being good with all things numerical and all things coding might be an advantage. This is an example of what I was just showing. This is actually a tidal wave that is going upwards into a river in France. And here you can see these very well regular waves, and you can see a front which is like a chuck. And the physical processes of each of these zones are different. So numerically modeling this is challenging. And actually, people use this kind of waves. This is called mascaré in France, and there are other places. It's called papioca or something like that in Brazil, and they also have this kind of waves in Australia. But you can see these very regular waves, really steep, and then this front which forms a chuck. This is really cool. And then I started working at my company at PRDW, and we have several offices across the world, but it's basically here in Santiago and in Cape Town. So like I said in the beginning, I come from the professional world. So I really like to be on top of the details of the physics and the latest academic developments, but I really like to apply those into concrete engineering problems. And we develop port projects, coastal and port projects, especially in the southern hemisphere. And here at my company, we got the opportunity to model the 2010 tsunami of Chile, which at the moment This was just a few years later later that I have seen the presentation of Philip Liu. At the moment in Chile, we didn't have the capacity. You can talk about this with other professors and many academics in La Universidad Católica and other places in La Santa Maria. We were running against the clock in order to be the first to model the tsunami. And we at our company, we managed to do it pretty accurately. Today is pretty standard. Today, almost every consulting office has the ability to model tsunamis, but at the day it was a kind of a breakthrough. So I was happy to help advance, let's say, the knowledge in coastal sciences from the consulting world and not necessarily from the academic one. And this is just an example of results that you can get, flooding areas and velocities. This is actually a paper that we published later on. And these are the kind of things that we do in PRDW. This is in Spanish, I just realized. But basically, we do a lot of modeling of processes. We do tsunami studies, we do hydrodynamic studies, we model sediment moving, we model waves, currents. So everything hydraulic related, it really has a niche on numerical modeling, which is more highlighted here. We model different kind of waves. We do statistical analysis. We model sediment transport and mud transport, which has different properties. We model tropical cyclones or hurricanes, like the one we showed you in the beginning. Tsunami flood, and also we do water quality studies, like oil spills and stuff like that. And for any one of these kind of studies, the base is to understand what's happening, what's going on. If the results are sound, is what we're gonna see in this course. So this might look as really fancy stuff, which it is, but at the basis is what we're gonna learn here. So it's really important to get it right. More and more is possible to go and buy a software that does whatever you need to do. And therefore, it's more and more important that you know the basics of the physics behind what you're modeling. And this is true in hydraulics, and is also true in I don't know, structural engineer or any kind of engineering, I think. Okay, and then later on, I went to the Netherlands, and then I started to not only look at water, but also at the motion of sediment, because, like I said in the beginning, the flow, the motion of water also moves sediment, and actually you can think of sediment moving. It's also a kind of fluid. It's not technically right, but you can conceptualize the sand moving as a kind of river, a river of sand. So hydraulics lets you also model the movement of sand. Here, what we did it was also, again, a numerical model of the storm impact. This was a large storm that eroded the dunes at a beach. In particular, if you know or if you've been in the Netherlands, it's a low-lying country, and they really rely on their dunes for not flooding from the sea, to avoid the sea getting into the country. So the dunes are really, really important. They take care of them. They don't allow everyone to build anything on top of the dunes. They're normally very high. Normally you can't see the water from the city. You only see the dune. And in 2013 or so, I think it was, there was a big storm that eroded part of the dune. So there was a threat, and we at the university, we model it. We model the erosion. And it's really cool because these guys, the Dutch, they also do a lot of measurements. So they had a measurement of the dune before and after. They measure the dunes all along the coast every year. So they had the measurement before and after. They could see the erosion here in blue and in purple. And here you can see a deposition fan, which is the sand eroded from the dune that deposited in the back side. And these are the results from our model, which fit really nicely with the data. So we were pretty confident that we were modeling rightly the erosion. You can see all of the dunes were eroded, in particular here. So, and then I came back to the university, to my company, and then we started getting into more and more data science because we had substantial expertise on what we do, and we were very good in coding and doing numerical models and to move files around. But we started to realize that we could do better in statistics and math and more probabilistic approaches. So we started to move towards data science, which now is a very trending topic. And I think that hydraulics within the engineering has a special uh, uh, as a favorable aspect to develop data science because it's so complex, because the numerical models are complicated. Uh, there are many things that we can do without an actual model. But then again, in order for the results to make sense, it's really important that you know the basics. So in my company, we started coding in Python. That's why I was very happy to learn that here at university you guys also code in Python, because then maybe we can do something interesting with the homeworks. Like I said, I don't need you to be software developers, but yeah, you do need to be able to do simple computations using code, and in this case, it's going to be Python. And actually, we presented one paper about predicting penguin population in Antarctica, which has nothing to do uh, with engineering, with coastal engineering or hydraulics. But what we've learned in data science allowed us to do this. So just to summarize, because this might look as a prospect of a career for some people. Basically, you start in civil engineer, then I went into hydraulics, and some of you might also go there. Then I went into coastal engineering, then I specialized in hydrodynamics, coastal hydrodynamics, then in morphology of coastal hydrodynamics, then hydroinformatics, and now later on in machine learning and data science applied to coastal processing. So it might look like you get yourself into more narrow and narrow areas. It was civil engineering in in industry, industrial. The title is Ingeniería Industrial, Ingeniería Civil Industrial. So it's something like management. I don't know if it has an exact translation, but it's not really management. It's also uh, uh, economics and system and optimization, stuff like that. So the point I want to make is, as you go along your career, you might feel that you get into narrower and narrower areas, and this is also true if you go to structures or if you go to environment or any other thing. So it's true, you get deeper knowledge into an ever decreasing number of topics. But because of the nature of the world and of the connected world today, I think you get more and more tools, and actually, the more specialized you are, it lets you collaborate with more and more people. So we ended up writing this paper on zoology. It's actually the only peer review paper that I have, and it's an ecology or something like that. I don't recall exactly. So yeah, your knowledge gets deeper and narrower, but your tool set might get broader, and that's the idea. And what I want you at the end of this course is to know the basics of fluid dynamics, and to know the basics of coding tools and scripting tools, and that let you deal with fluids and flows, and probably those tools will stay with you later beyond this course. Also, the English part, it goes in the same way. It's really important to be in this connected world, to be comfortable speaking English and reading English and writing English. And it's better if you do it in this space which is more protected before just jumping into actual engineering work. Uh, so at the end of the course, you might look at this picture, and you might recognize better the waves. You might recognize that there is a tide here, and you might recognize the flow of sand that shapes the coastline. And you'll also recognize that the clouds are also fluids, and they are flowing on top of your head. You might also recognize that the sand is also moving, and if you look at this shape, you might realize that it's moving in this way or maybe that way, but it probably is not moving in this way. Stuff like that. Maybe at the end of the course, uh, you're gonna see the application of fluids in your daily life. There is one common misconception. People when you tell them that you study hydraulics, normally some people tend to mix that with mechanics, like some sort of excavator or something, like hydraulic applied into a mechanic device. It's not what we're going to do here. We're going to do hydraulics only water moving. Although we'll see the principle of these hydraulic presses and hydraulics cranes, but we won't dwell too much on that. Okay, so that was for my side for today. It was going to be a shorter class. I will upload probably tomorrow or today evening. You should be able to see all the PDFs of the book. So they are posted. Somebody told me Unit 2 wasn't uploaded, so I just fixed that. So you should have all the book on your hands. I'm going to tell you exactly what pages you should read for next Monday. If you want to read more, you're welcome. But at least how many you should read. And probably I'm going to give you the first quiz this Friday, so you can do it during the weekend or Monday, just before the class. All quizzes are going to end just before the class. And again, if you have any doubts, any problem, I have in the chat that there is a mismatch between a base de datos exam on the November 23. So I'm gonna look into that. If you have any conflict of times, let me know. If you have any problem, yeah, the quiz is gonna be open probably a couple of days. So I'm gonna give you the quiz, let's say Friday. I'm gonna try to put it on Friday or maybe Thursday. It will depend. Let's say Friday. And it's gonna be a really short quiz. And it's gonna be open just up until Monday at 4:30. So at 4:30 you can't do the quiz anymore. It should take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's really short. But the deadline is gonna be at the beginning of the class. Every week that we have a quiz, I will let you know. So you'll get a notification. If you don't get and I'm doing something wrong in Canvas, just let me know. Next Monday, we're going to have class. Every Monday, we're going to have class, unless I tell you the contrary. Okay? No, they don't have a limited time. You can. Oh yeah, I think once you open it, you have like a few minutes to finish it. I don't really know the details. All right, I'd let you know. I let you know. Yeah, again, maybe I'm not being very clear. The quiz is gonna start Friday and it's gonna end Monday. You can do it whenever you want within those ranges. And I think that once you started, you have something like 10 minutes or so. and I'll let you know for which pages. It's a reading quiz. So I'm gonna let you know. Okay, read these pages, and then I'm going to quiz you about those same pages. All right. Everyone should be in the announcement. If the announcement is not clear, because maybe now I'm not very clear, just let me know. Okay. And again, just reach out to me if you have any problem. If you had questions about the contents, please put them in the discussion forum. If it's not working or anything, you can also send me an email. No worries. I will answer not immediately, but most likely once a day. Okay. And if the question is interesting, I will post it online for everyone to see. So if there are no more questions, if you have questions, this is the last time you can you can answer, you can ask. And if not, we'll see you all again next Monday, all right, at 4:30 then. No more? Okay. So thank you very much. Have a nice first week of this COVID-19 semester. And see you all next week then. Bye-bye.